Hey, look, today we're just going to cover over what some realtors are doing right and what others are doing wrong, and I'll show you some examples of this. Okay, so diving into it, right? Firstly, um, if you're not familiar with me, my name is Luke, and I'm basically the co-founder of Leads to Media. Now, after the short, brief introductory, let's dive into it. So, what are the successful realtors doing versus what are the ones that aren't? Now, we could dive into a lot of details, right? So, but let's just start off with what realtors are doing wrong specifically, right? So, when it comes to social media content, of course, or content in general, right? The whole purpose of having, social media is to typically get people that are actually interested in that sort of content that you put out, and you're trying to attract them. So most likely, majority of the times, it's buyers. So let's say you're trying to attract buyers. You need to put out content that obviously is relatable to buyers. Now, we have in some cases in which people do not actually provide value for buyers, and that obviously means you're not going to get buyers interested in your content, right? Now, there are times also when people do provide it, but it just doesn't look professional. So those are two things really that people are doing wrong. So you could basically have insane amount of value, but if it's not packaged correct, right, you're not really going to get a lot of buyers. Now, with that being said, right, as well, if you're a realtor and you do package it correctly, for like this example above, then you're going to see amazing results. And it doesn't really take that much effort, if I'm being honest. Just a little edits, like 1 minute, and essentially you're done, and it looks professional. And then all you need to do is just stack up on volume, which is what a lot of realtors that I've seen miss. Like, some of them have 2 accounts max, which is probably why they don't see as much success as they want to. Because realtors, they have, well, I'm not sure if they don't know or they have this, I think it's more a lack of knowledge. But the more volume you put out, and the higher your chances of basically getting results, right? That's just how it works. The more you fuck around, the higher your chances of finding out. If you know, you know. But look, that's where it comes down to, right? And there are some social media pages that just look so professional. They stick to a single style, if that makes sense, right? Like, their style is so unique and it's basically curated to this. And every time they have like an edit or something like that, of that nature, then it's always the same type of style. And once if you're aware of familiarity, right, your brain's going to pick up on a pattern and associate that sort of style with that person's profile, right? And whenever you think of that sort of style of content, you're always going to think of that person's content, if that makes sense. Now, when it comes to new realtors, they don't really have edits and stuff like that, so it doesn't really look professional, and there's no really like any sort of strategy behind actually getting their buyers in. It's mostly just posting buyers content, and usually their accounts don't even look, how would you say, I'm just gonna be harsh with it, and I'm just gonna say the accounts don't look active, and throwing a bit of salt in the wounds here. It doesn't look professional, and I would not, if I was a buyer, I wouldn't go with him. Now, with that being said, now on the counteract, if we just compare 2 profiles, right? I'm going to show you 2 profiles above, and just take a look at the difference of them, right? And you can already see which one you would go with. Now, if you chose the one on the left, then if you are a buyer, you definitely go with the one on the left. And that's just because it looks professional, it looks active, it has a good following, and the views and stuff. Obviously, it's also a bit of entertaining and jokes and fun. And that just shows that they're actually a human and they're authentic. Now with the one on the right hand side, it just doesn't look like someone that's active or showing personality, and that they're actually a human being and not a robot or alien from outer space, if that makes sense. And with that comes, distrust and people thinking, is this one person just here to take my money? Are they trying to rob me? And the moment that sort of sinks in, that thought comes in, it builds in their heads, and they basically don't work with you because they have that fear, right? It just comes down based to that. And another thing is, you don't need a large following, right? You do not need a large following to basically have a good account. You could have 250 followers and still make buyers convert, right? Because all it really comes down to is how professional your account looks. Is it active? Is their personality, right? Because I've seen accounts like above, I'll show you now, where they basically have so much followers, right? But it looks like they bought their followers, and that is never a good thing. Because, well, in the case of if you're looking at it from a perspective of, I want more followers, it looks more professional, sure, why not? But in the case of, I want more buyers, how do I get more buyers? You need to put out content that's curated to buyers, and then just slowly build from there. Now, sometimes some realtors also have this thing where, they have this belief that having more followers equals more buyers, which is not true in a sense, right? Because you could have 100,000 people that are not interested in buying, right? 100,000 followers, that are not interested in actually your services and are just sub to you, but they don't even engage with your content. Or you could have 250 of them that are actually interested in your content and that are actually willing to buy. Which one would you go with? It's so obvious, the one with 250, right? Because they're actually interested in your service. So when it comes down to it, it does depend on the actual people that are following you. And yeah, that's all I really have today for you guys. If you liked the video, just like, subscribe, comment if you want any other content, or if I missed something in it. And yeah, thanks.